Alright, so I just wanted to do a video on planetary navigation. I realize for some people this is old hat and they don't need to watch it, so don't watch it. But there's some of us who are either old enough to not remember how to do this kind of stuff or just haven't done it before, or have been so used to their GPS device that they don't even care about it anymore. But right now in Elite, this is 2.2. You do need to know how to navigate on a planet's surface using latitude and longitude in a couple circumstances. One might be you get one of those missions where it drops into your inbox and it's called a tip-off mission. Basically, you're given some text and instructions that says go to this system, go to this planet at these coordinates, and you'll find something for you. Or sometimes you'll see things on the forums or elsewhere where it says, this particular mystery item is located at X latitude and Y longitude. So you need to know how to get to those coordinates. Or sometimes you're meeting up with people or they say, hey, I saw this thing at these coordinates, go check it out. And you're either going to struggle and take forever to go find those exact coordinates, or if you know how to get there, you get there quickly. And there are web applications that you can run on the side that you can put in the latitude and longitude that you're at, put in the latitude and longitude you want to get to, and it'll give you a heading. So you can do that as well if you want. If you don't want to use third-party applications and you just want to be able to get to a set of coordinates of lat and longitude on your own, I'm going to try to help you out here. But before I do that, I have to show you a short 2-minute refresher, I'll call it, on latitude and longitude and which numbers are where and how it's arranged on a planet. So your incoming 2-minute review on geography for you. So here's your 2-minute review of navigation with latitude and longitude. Latitude shown here on the left has numbers that go from the equator to the North Pole and the equator to the South Pole. For going north, you go from 0 to 30, 60, 90 positive, and when you're headed south, it's negative 30, 60, 90. So you can go from negative 90 to 0 to positive 90 when you're talking about latitude. Again, that's the top number that's shown in your HUD in Elite. The way I remember latitude or longitude is the way I think I was taught in like 3rd grade is latitude. Lat is like a hat, the brim of a hat. These lines run horizontally. You remember it however you want. There's got to be better ways. Longitude, on the other hand, goes from 0 at some arbitrarily defined point to negative 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, and then 180. And then from 0 in the east to 30, 60, 90, 120. So if you're in the western hemisphere, you'll show a negative 60 for longitude. If you're in the eastern hemisphere, you would show, say, a positive 60 for the longitude. And that's the bottom number in the Elite HUD display. So just quickly, let's say you're at negative 30 degrees latitude. That means you're somewhere on this line. Negative 30 degrees latitude. So that top number in Elite would say negative 30. Longitude, if you're at 60 degrees longitude, positive 60, that's the bottom number, says it's positive 60, then you're somewhere along this line, positive 60. So if you wanted to take that positive 60 and you want to go somewhere that's, the coordinate given to you is minus 20 longitude, that means you're going to have to travel west to get to minus 20 longitude. Or latitude, let's say you're at positive 30 degrees latitude and the coordinate is 70 degrees latitude, that means you have to go north to drive those numbers higher to get to 70 degrees latitude. So this is what you have to know before you can fly around on the planet's surface and get to the point that you're going to the quickest. Basically what you need to know is, do I need to go north or south to drive the latitude number where I want it, and do I need to go east or west to drive the longitude number where I want it? So This is the basics that you have to know. Now back to Elite. Alright, now that that's over with, let's fly into the planet, and I'm just going to pick random coordinates. Let's say I want to get to positive 60.6 and latitude and negative 20 longitude. So positive 60.6, negative 20. How do I get there quickly? Well, I'm about to show you. And I guess I should start with what you don't want to do. What you don't want to do is fly into the, make an approach to the planet, get down and back into normal space, be flying around by the surface, and then try to make your way to the coordinates that way. That is going to take forever, and you'll quickly realize that that is not the way to do it. So the way you need to do it is when you're in orbital cruise. Now you can see that the display that came up shows me a drop line for orbital cruise where it says OC. Hopefully I highlight that right. And then below that is a DRP or a drop line. That's the zone that you want to operate in when you're looking for these coordinates. So I'm just going to drop down until I'm in that range and control my speed so that I can get to those coordinates. Get to those coordinates fast. So like I said, 60.6 latitude and a negative 20 longitude. Probably you can't really see it. That's better. Now you can see on the HUD where it's showing me that I'm at minus 22 latitude and minus 113 longitude. So those are my current coordinates. I want to keep from hitting the drop line here. So if I want to get to 60.6 latitude, that top number, means I need to drive that number higher. Now being that I'm already at a minus 15, that means I'm in the southern hemisphere and I need to head north. So if I turn north, which I am already kind of going north, actually I'm going due north now, you can see that that number is going down, but it's a negative number going down, so it's getting closer to zero. After some time it'll get to zero and then it'll start going positive, and that's what I want to do. I want to get it to 60.6, so I need to go north. Now I'm not going to let the ship drop. I'm not going to let it get so low so that it crosses the drop line and I go into glide and I get to the planet's surface. I don't want to do that yet. I want to keep myself in orbital cruise so that I keep my speed up and I can change that number faster. Otherwise it'll take forever. So I need to go north to get to 60, and I need to still get the bottom number, the longitude, to a negative 20. So it's at a negative 111. So I need to drive that number smaller, or in other words, I need to go east or west is the question. And so if I'm at a negative 111, if I want to drive it to a negative 20, that means I need to make it go more positive, which means I need to head east. So if I turn right here, you can see on the heading that's 0, I need to go east. So if I go 90 degrees, that number should start getting closer and closer to 0. So let me do that. So now I'm going almost east, and you can see it's going down, or it's getting closer to 0. I know some math people are going to hate me for talking about it this way, but it's just a convenient way to talk about it. So now that I need to go north to drive the latitude towards 60.6, I need to go east to drive the longitude to a negative 20. I'm going to go northeast. Split the difference, that's about 45 degrees. And I'm just going to watch these numbers to see when they get close to where I need them. Then I'm going to adjust my heading to get them to stay where I want them to. What I usually do is I try to get close in general, and then I try to get real close to the drop line, and then when I'm really close to the coordinates I want to be at, I go ahead and I let it drop. So I'm just going to stay at this altitude, 131 kilometers. And of course I can change my throttle and make it go faster, or stay at this altitude to stay above the drop line. So going to 60 and negative 20. That top number is working out pretty good. Latitude, the bottom number, the longitude is getting closer to negative 20. Now if I go due east and due west, my latitude won't change. So when I get to 60.6 in latitude, I'm going to turn due east. That way I'll keep that latitude at the same number. I'm traveling along the line of latitude of 60 degrees is the idea. That way that number will stay stable and I'll only have to watch the longitude. I'm trying to stay at about the same altitude. You can see my speed changing as I get closer to the surface or further away. The higher I go, or the more that I stay in this blue zone, the higher the number will stay. That's something that FD put in there to allow you to quickly travel around the planet without dropping down or being not in orbital cruise where you can't see these numbers. Kind of drifting off course here. So 60, and I'm already past my longitude, so I'm going to watch the latitude here for a second. Try to get that to 60. If you need to slow down, just change your throttle or get a little bit out of the blue zone and you'll slow down. Alright, so I'm at 60. Alright, so I blew by my 60 a little bit, but that's okay, I can change it. If I need that number to go down, that means I need to go south a little bit more, so just turn a little bit to my right, get back to 60. You just gotta watch how close you're getting to it. And in the process of doing this, you can see that I kind of went way past my negative 20, so I'm going to have to make a U-turn here. But I want to stay at 60 degrees latitude. So by heading west, I'm going to drive that longitude, the bottom number, more negative. Alright, there's 270. Bottom number is going down like I want it to. The latitude is a little bit high, so I need to go further towards the south to bring that back down to 60. I'm just going to watch that compass a little bit closer so I don't drift. 62 and a half, 62. And ideally when it hits 60, I want to be heading due west so that number no longer changes. Or I could head due east and that number won't change. Okay, so I'm at 60.6. I'm looking for negative 20. I want to sneak down towards the drop line. There's some altitude here. You can see I'm getting closer. You can see that latitude number is barely changing. Longitude's coming down quickly. I want to just, when it gets close to negative 20, I want to go ahead and drop. And that's just practice on when you go ahead and let it drop so that you end up at your coordinate that you want. So I figure, I don't know, I didn't say at a negative 15 I'll try. I don't know. I'll try to drift along the drop line to keep it close. I think it's going to drop at 50. So I don't want to let it get there quite yet. Still coming down. If you were trying to do this while you were in normal space down by the surface, you'd never get there. Try it, you'll see what I mean. Alright, let's drop. We're at minus 18. It's pretty close to minus 20. And I blew by it a little bit. Negative 21. But I know how to fix that, right? I just have to head back east and I'll get there. This will take me out of glide. That's okay. Alright, come out of glide. So now I'm at net. So that took, what? That was. I tried it at minus 18 and I ended up at minus 23, so it's about 5. So next time I would probably try to start dropping at minus 15 on the way to minus 20, and that would get me closer. But you can see pretty damn close to those coordinates. So hopefully that helps you out. Just you have to understand the basic coordinate system, latitude and longitude. Understand what the HUD is showing you. The top number is latitude, the bottom number is longitude. And that you need to maneuver while you're between the orbital cruise line and the drop line. That's going to get you the best maneuverability, moving around the fastest so that you can get to those coordinates that you're after. I hope this helps. If you got any questions or comments, let me know and I'll try to address them.